Hey guys, Cool Blind Way back. I'm Rick.
I'm Maggie.
And we are here with Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Last time on, we watched a movie.
Yeah.
We went into a movie.
Yeah, it really did feel like the future of such creators of as Neil Breen or something.
You know, that's right.
Because they'll be shunned from every form of viewing in the future. So they'll basically just have to convert their own brain into their masterpiece.
I can't wait. And I also can't wait to see what it has in store for us this time. More Laughing Man, standalone. Let's find out. What's your theory on the stocks?
It wasn't stocks. The tachikomas. Basically that they have that childlike presentation, so that the people that work with them will have the impression or urge to basically give them
very detailed instructions. They could just give them a different accent, have them speak another language. Well, I guess the children thing probably works better.
Yeah, because if you have a kid with you and you want them to go somewhere, it's you're gonna specify, and don't kill them, or something like that. You're gonna, be careful. You're gonna say the things that would be obvious to someone who was older, or something like that. She asked, should I take the spark plugs out of that one? It's it's a sort of. It makes sense to have them be kind of childlike in that case.
So, no, you were talking about the Togus' stocks there that were bought on his computer.
Yeah.
So you think that that's a frame job?
I think they're setting up maybe to either try to have leverage on him or financially, or to set up the fact that something happened and he's got 80,000 shares. It's maybe he was, maybe he was specifically going after us because he was trying to make his stock worth more or something like that,
Sure. Yeah.
Either trying to make him the bad guy or so that they could lean on him.
I don't think we've really seen much that's carried over from standalone episodes, have we? That'd be the only reason. But I mean, either way, I guess it would carry over in some way, maybe. Because
it's a common thing with episodes, even if they're not on the main thread, the very last thing is they'll have a quick side note or bar, basically oh, hey, by the way, that thing that we've been fighting for episodes upon episodes, I just got a call, this person's coming, or something like that. Something that hits up the main arc of the season without taking over the whole episode.
Because my thought was, I don't know how this would work, but if his house or his maids is still monitoring things or whatever, he, what is his name? Mr. Yosuke was rewarding him because he's the only one that cared, really.
Send him with some gold?
Yeah. And so he somehow put the money-making program on his computer that knows how to do the stocks and stuff.
It just seems rather scary, the fact it was the Cyrano Genomics.
Yeah, because that was one of the ones on the list, right?
That was the first one that we had in contact with, in the entire episode. They were the ones that,
It's about the Laughing Man?
Yeah, about the Laughing Man that possibly had, faked the whole thing.
Sure.
Initially, they'd gotten this started back up.
No.
Super Class A. The interceptors were from them.
You're probably right. Just don't want anything bad to happen to Togusa.
Or his cute little kid and his nice wife.
His little baby.
The baby. Something about the way babies sleep with their arms over their head is just the best. Evie still does that.
I know.
And she always, if she's beside me and she falls asleep, she always does this thing where she hits me right in the nose with her arm.
I feel like a broken record, but I really like this episode. I liked the assassin from southern China, who I assume is still communist in this world. She seems to be anti-capitalism and uses coins in order to kill people.
I like that.
It's really great.
I like that a lot. currency's been a form of weapons for a long time.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy X, I'm trying to remember. There's a couple different. In Dragon Quest, there's a gold attack that you can use, where like depending on how much gold you spend, you'll do that much damage. In 11, I think, maybe 8 too, but I
mean, there's been attacks that basically steal gold from your enemies for a long time too.
In Final Fantasy X, it's been a while since I played it, but you get a summon called Yojimbo in that, and depending on how much you pay him, he does damage. I'm trying to remember if he throws the coins too, or if he just like slashes them with a sword. I feel like I remember him throwing the coins, but it's been a long time.
Distraction. But yeah, as soon as she like loads it, it's like, yes.
And I loved how it was built up too, where like she's exchanging for this currency, and the lady's like, "Oh, this has a better exchange rate." So like you're thinking, well, why is she getting it this way?
The diameter.
Really good.
Although how she got like, I sometimes get stuck thinking about like how it mechanically must work and such to get like a certain spread pattern or something at those distances. Like she was almost right next to that one doll, and she had a spread pattern of like this big where it just kind of took out the shoulder and head pretty much. But then when she shot the door, it was also about that big.
Oh, I wonder, like, seems like some sort of railgun maybe.
And they came out whole.
Yeah. So maybe some magnetism is applied to them, and like whatever the polarity is keeps them at a certain distance.
Maybe. That sounds pretty cool.
Just a guess.
I'd write that into a weapon, so yeah, absolutely. Headcanon. I
love the camaraderie between them, especially between Major and Bato. It's like her getting onto him about not taking things seriously, and then her getting hit into the garbage, and him just giving her a hard time, but not too hard of a time, because he knows that she'd kick his ass.
Yeah, he walks a very, very fine line.
We had robot dogs, which they can make robots that look exactly like people. Mm-hmm. You know, the maids and such. So I wonder, is it for extra intimidation? Is it cheaper? Like, if you're gonna have a robot guard dog, why not make it look like a dog?
I mean, we don't know what those things were doing normally. Maybe they have maybe the sort of areas that they patrol regularly would preclude them to look nicer, basically, because then like if they're going through like sewers or waterways or underneath that sort of stuff, or they have that fake faux fur type stuff, like maybe that'd get pretty nasty, and it's not like they're gonna take a bath or lick themselves clean or anything like that. All they're really needed is like their funky jaws and the barking.
Yeah. I wonder if there was some sort of centralized alarm system too. Like if they see something, it triggers great alarm. Like the maids didn't seem to come to investigate,
No, but once one came, the rest of them came. And they didn't instantly like start attacking or anything like that. It was mostly just to tree and then chase. So they're just just there, I guess, to keep track of someone, not necessarily to...
Bato's like a little cat.
Down. Yeah. He's got his little cute white tail and everything.
It seemed to just be a game for... I can never remember his name. It's not Yosuke, right? It's Yokose?
Yokose.
Mr. Yokose. So, I mean, he had a big, nice house and everything, but it seemed like he just collected the gold almost as if it was a high score. Instead of, like, writing the score on the wall, he just has it all around him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
Like, he's not investing it.
Collecting cheese wheels in Skyrim or anything else.
He's like a cookie clicker.
Yeah, exactly. Did he pay taxes? Like, that seems like such a hoard of money.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I wonder how much it is, and how much, like, of an impact does that have on the government, Like, I know at Marietta College, people will write them into their will or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, like, their, budget is whatever. And sometimes those can be a significant portion of the budget for a year. I just wonder in the future, like, what is the budget for Japan?
Or like, I mean, the gross national or the gross, I forget what the term is exactly, but basically
GDP.
The GDP of like California is way more than like some countries.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it compares to like Japan.
Yeah,
but
I
that
don't know.
being said, like we have individual humans alive now that are commanding just disgustingly large amounts of money.
But not like pay off the national debt amount of money.
I don't know.
Well, not hundreds of trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like there are billionaires, but I don't think there are any trillionaires. Are there?
I think there are. I'm sorry to say.
And that's just... I'm gonna look. Like, as individuals.
It's like nowadays we're watching this and it's like, no, this all seems perfectly reasonable. One guy hoarding so much money. No, yeah, this exists. Like, that's not the crazy part of the episode. The crazy part is why they made the dog scary looking. But, like, back when this first came out, would that have been the biggest, craziest part of the episode? Was that he had Fort Knox in his bedroom?
So, Musk is the world's richest man. $281 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still a long way away from a trillion.
I mean, we've had trillionaires alive before, though, right? Pretty sure.
I mean, if you want to talk about, like ancient Rome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Localized trillionaires, basically.
Yeah, if you want to, like, how much was a denarii or whatever worth in today's dollars, like, then yes, there have been way richer people and a much greater disparity between the rich and the poor.
Yeah, not to mention, like, at a certain point, it's not money, it's just power.
But it's also really hard to quantify that, to say, like, what the conversion rate is for those sorts of things.
But Mr. Yoko say he didn't exactly follow the Roman Emperor path, where he just seemed to be happy to be in his bedroom surrounded by gold.
What if he was happy? Like, he had no family, no wife, no kids or anything. He just wanted to do one thing. I wonder if, like, he was if he had like a mental, if he was like a savant.
I mean, just because you might, I don't know if savantism I don't know if that necessarily gives you pleasure in doing those activities, even if you're so good at them.
Sure, but like those people can sometimes have problems with like personal relationships.
Yeah. And they did mention he'd been doing something previously and then he got onto the stock market type stuff.
Yeah, it was still money though. It was like investments or something.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't the stock market. And he was a mathematician as well.
Wasn't there a Douglas Adams book where they basically, I think it was Douglas Adams, I can't remember exactly, but they introduced a alien species whose basically the most the best males basically to mate with and such were the ones that owned property. And so genetically these aliens became like predisposed to where acquiring property made them very, very happy. And they basically introduced Monopoly, the board game, to this alien race, and it basically became like
a drug.
Yeah, kind of like It was very pleasurable for them to play.
Well, I think that's all I've got.
I'm not happy about Sereno Genomics possibly going after Toga-san.
You've got me concerned. I was happy. Now I'm concerned. I wonder if Bato ran away with any of those cars.
Or
the Takikoma tried to run away with the gold.
I love how the major's like how do I make them listen to me? Like, it was very much like I know the feeling. Like, how do I make this child listen to me?
Although, yeah, it's not quite childlike because, like, children are at least of a certain age, are understanding of the concept of repercussions.
Yeah, but children generally don't necessarily do something or not do something out of fear of repercussions. They generally do it out of curiosity, or they want to please you, or something like that. Like, generally, especially if they like grow up in a happy house and everything like that, they, aren't thinking about all the negative things. When they start to do something, they're thinking about all the positive things that could come about. That's why they're often so surprised when it's like, oh, this blew up in my face, basically. It's like, but I only had good intentions. I remember doing stuff like that, yeah. But with the Taiji comas, they're definitely built to serve the Section 9 people and to make them happy, as it were.
Major's a very demanding mother.
Well, she's harder to read than the rest. Like, she doesn't communicate as directly as Bato does when he's like, yeah, good job and stuff like that. And they're trying to figure out the way to please her, basically.
She's also pretty demanding and, like, I don't know if strict is the right word, but very, like, protocol is important.
And yeah, and if she told one of them to follow and watch her back, it's because that's the most valuable thing you could do for her right then. It's not necessarily like, mind linking with one of the doll droids. But they lack that prioritization functionality, it seems.
Well, they get distracted.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Good one. Let's see if that Serrano Genomics comes back.
Well, they will.
Next time. Thank you guys for watching our reaction to Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. If you like it, subscribe or head over to patreon.com/blindwave where you can check out more. Also, you can find that at blindwave.com where you can find a link to our merch like this. Thank you, Santa, for Ghost in the Shell.